Welcome to Toon Boom Harmony character rigging. We've already created characters. I'm hoping at that point that we are. And we're ready to start actually getting into the nitty gritty here. So we first need to make a template, and I want to show you all about that. It is a little intimidating, but I assure you, as soon as you kind of find out what the structure is, everything is going to start to make a little bit more sense. All right, so rigging. First of all, we need to talk about different rig types. There is one that we are specifically going to do, but here's the other ones that you can possibly encounter. So the simplest rig type is you just kind of put all the pieces in there and you just kind of move stuff, and kind of you're going to have to keyframe everything, and it's a whole mess. What you want is, an actual rig. So rigging is the process of creating structure and a system for controlling and animating a digital character. So why would we want to do this? Well, first of all, that approach that I just mentioned is a pain in the butt. Let's just try to make it easier on ourselves. Second of all, who wants to draw all these frames, right? The whole purpose of this is to streamline the process. It does look a little bit different, but that's part of the charm, right? So again, several ways to approach this, and it really depends on what you need it to do. Okay. So let's talk about hierarchy. So we probably have encountered this a little bit with our previous tutorials with the arm. And hierarchy is essentially just the order in which things follow each other, right? When you want a part, so say the rest of your arm, to follow your shoulder, you need to have the other parts of the arm parented to that. So you can see that right here. It says Toon arm top, Toon arm low, Toon hand. Okay, so when you see this on the timeline with these little brackets, that indicates that this thing is parented to the one above it. Okay, so the hand's parented to the lower arm is parented to the top arm. If I rotated this shoulder, the rest of the arm should follow. Okay, problem here is, since it's just the drawings parented to each other, you can't move them independently. So we're going to look at that here in a second with our pegs. So pegs are your best friend. The way that Toon Boom defines them is as trajectory nodes. Essentially, you can put transformations on them. By transformations, I mean scale, rotate, translate, or move. Okay. A lot of times in the software, you're going to hear the term translate instead of move. That it just means move. Okay. So in this case, all of our artwork layers are parented to a peg, and the pegs are kind of parented to each other. So if I really wanted to, I can move each piece kind of separate from one another. I would only put transformations on peg layers, because if you start messing with both ends and you're not sure what you're doing, things can explode. And I'm sure some of you have already kind of encountered this. All right. So that's the basics of rigging. The next video, I'm going to talk about character breakdown.